Good evening. My name is Crispian Lees. I'm the head of education at AWho. Welcome to our informational webinar on our advanced programs and our academies. Just to start off with and give you a little bit of context as to who AWho is, if you don't already know of us, we're an educational organization that helps high school learners with self-study resources, specifically in maths and science. Some of you might become aware of us when the pandemic first hit and we made our maths online resource available to the country for free to help with learning continuity over that time. We also help matrics with national benchmark test preparation, which is something that if you're in South Africa, you'll likely need to navigate in your matric year. We then help learners in exam preparation with a focus on maths and science, getting learners ready for their exams. And then the two spheres that I'm going to speak to you about this evening are our academy and then our advanced programs. So in terms of what we're going to cover this evening, we're going to cover first our advanced programs in maths and physics. I'm going to talk to you about what the AP subjects are all about, why you should consider doing them, and then how to apply for our advanced programs. And then in the second half of the presentation, I'll talk towards our academy and our Academy Plus and what that is all about. So without further ado then, let me get started on what is AP Maths and AP Physics. I must mention at this time, everybody, that I'm here this evening to help you with any information related to these programs. So let's get going with what is AP Maths and AP Physics. So it's Advanced Program Mathematics and Advanced Program Physics. Many parents here this evening, and myself included, will remember this under the name additional maths or add maths. When I was back at school, this was called add maths. It was part of the National Senior Certificate, and it was an additional subject that you could do. Many years ago now, in around 2008 roughly, the Department of Education took the decision to no longer offer additional mathematics as part of the National Senior Certificate because they wanted to focus efforts on the core subjects, which were important to get right, and additional mathematics, being an advanced mathematics course at a high school level, was very difficult for schools to resource and enable fair access to that program across the country. So they struck it off of the National Senior Certificate. Now, while there were a lot of very fair reasons for doing that at the time, unfortunately, this decision was to the detriment of learners that are very interested and more gifted and need extension in mathematics or at a high school level. And so the IEB, the Independent Examination Board, recognized the problem in what was going on, and they took that subject and got it certified through Umalusi as a separate qualification and then renamed it as the advanced programs. So the advanced programs, advanced program maths essentially covers the same domains that additional maths covered back in the day, but it is now a separate certificate, an additional qualification that learners can study towards, whether you're at a state school or a private school. With it is open to learners from both fraternities of schooling. Okay, so that is essentially what the advanced programs are. The underpinning philosophy of the advanced programs is to better prepare learners for university study. That is what they're all about. Essentially, and this is increasingly important these days, in that there is a growing gap between what learners are learning at a high school level and what is required of them at a university level. And unfortunately, what it is meaning is that many learners are being tripped up in their first year of university by largely mathematics or one of the more technical courses like physics or applied mathematics, which is very similar to physics. And so these advanced programs are exceptionally beneficial programs to ensure that you are well equipped to succeed moving into university. What they cover essentially is they cover university level concepts at a high school level. So advanced program maths, for instance, largely covers first semester, first year university mathematical concepts over a 3-year program from grades 10 to 12. And a similar thing can be said for advanced program physics. Now, the natural question that emanates that for many people is, well, if I'm going to cover it at university, why do I need to go and take this course at a high school level? And experientially, I can talk to that in that I did additional mathematics. I went on to study engineering, chemical engineering at university, and I experienced the shift from high school to university. When a learner moves from high school to university, first of all, there is a lot of orientation that needs to take place and a lot of adjustment that needs to take place. But one of the most difficult things to come to terms with is the step change in the rate of learning that happens when learners move from high school to university. In high school, learners are given a lot of time to grapple with concepts and come to terms with them. When they move to university, university programs move at a rapid pace and learners are expected to keep up or fall off. And that step change in the rate of learning is embedded in the way that the advanced programs are actually structured. So, for instance, in advanced program maths, it's a 3-year program from grade 10 to 12. Most of those concepts are covered in first semester university maths courses. So in the advanced program, learners are given 3 years to grapple with these concepts and develop an understanding for them. Whereas when they move to first year university, they're largely only given 6 months. And that's incredibly difficult to come to terms with when these are advanced concepts and they are quite different mathematics as to what learners are used to in their core mathematics at a high school level. So that's essentially what the advanced programs are. They're an additional qualification administered by the IEB. Learners are certified. Learners that pass the final exam in matric receive an additional qualification and certificate, which is looked at exceptionally favorably by universities. And the underpinning philosophy of the advanced programs is to better prepare learners for university. At this point, I'd like to address a little bit around our advanced program philosophy. These are advanced courses. They are, by definition, more advanced than the core subjects that you're taking at school, and they are going to be challenging and difficult. But 50% of their value is in that fact. Okay. So at Advantage Learn, the philosophy that we take around the advanced programs is that participation is far more important than performance. Participation and growth is far more important than performance. So what's really valuable in these subjects is that you're being challenged and extended. And if that is entered into with the right frame of mind and the right approach, that will lead to the development of a growth mindset and resilience towards your academic development that is incredibly important when you leave high school. And those aspects, over and above the technical learning that you do in maths or in physics, is a lot more important than the marks. When you undertake an advanced program, you should not be expecting to achieve the 80s and 90s that you achieve in your core subjects. Your mark will likely go down by an order of 20 to 40%. And so for many of you that take on the advanced programs, it might be the first instance where you see a mark of 50%, 40%, 60% against your name. But there is value in that, and you need to adopt a mind frame where that does not concern you. As long as you are finding the program interesting, you are experiencing growth, and you are seeing a benefit in being part of the program, because there are lots of benefits that overflow out of this program, which I'll speak to in a moment. then these programs are a worthwhile endeavor. And I'm speaking both to learners and parents with me this evening in this regard. You need to reframe your expectations in terms of performance when approaching the advanced programs. The growth that you're experiencing, the interest that these stoke in you is a lot more important than the marks that you achieve. And a pass in the advanced programs is looked at exceptionally favorably by tertiary institutions because they know that these are advanced courses where a learner has gone above and beyond. They're very difficult. They require diligence and grit to get through it and to pass it. And those are the characteristics that they know will serve learners well in terms of being successful at a university level. Intelligence can only take you so far. It needs to be coupled with a solid work ethic and a resilient approach to challenges that you're encountering. Okay, so that's a little bit around our philosophy. It's really important to keep that front and center when you are struggling in the program, because you need to always think to yourself, well, am I finding this beneficial? Am I seeing benefits outside of just the mark that I'm achieving? And if the answer is yes, then great. Okay, so let's talk a little bit around why do AP Maths and AP Physics. So first off, it improves your core subject results. So if you're taking AP Maths, you're going to see a positive effect on your core mathematics. If you're doing AP Physics, you're going to see a positive impact on your physical science mark because you're being extended. And by virtue of the fact of being extended, your basics will be strengthened and reinforced, and that will have a positive impact on your core results. This is a resounding feedback that we get from our learners in our advanced programs, that they start to fly in their core subjects. So it's very different from extra maths or support maths, which comes in at a core subject level and supports you at that level. The advanced programs come in at a higher level, and they, by virtue of extension, they improve your performance in your core subjects. The second significant point, which I've already alluded to some extent, is that it helps significantly in university applications. Like I mentioned, the advanced programs are looked at very favorably because they speak volumes about a learner's ability in these subjects, but also about their work ethic, because these are tough programs. Universities know that if a learner can get through an advanced program, they are better equipped to get through a challenging and demanding degree program. And ultimately, universities want to admit learners that have the highest probability of success in their degree programs. Thirdly, learners that do the advanced programs find the national benchmark tests easier. So in matric, learners that are looking to study at South African universities will generally need to write the national benchmark test. These are very different styles of assessment which involve mathematical skills, and the more difficult questions do require very insightful thinking. And the advanced programs help learners to develop different approaches to problems and think more deeply about things, which helps them immensely in these tests. There's then two profiles of learners. It's a generalization that I like to speak to in terms of how these programs can really benefit, who these programs can really benefit. The first one is a mid-aptitude learner, a learner at school who does exceptionally well academically, but one of the major contributors to that success is because they're diligent, they work well, and so they succeed. And those characteristics are vitally important, and sometimes more important than just latent intelligence. But these mid-aptitude learners don't necessarily have the sharpest mind. They take a little bit longer to catch on to things. They need a little bit of more time. The advanced programs help those learners to give them time to grapple with these concepts ahead of encountering them at university, so that they can cope with that step change in rate of learning where they need a little bit more time to get over that first year university hurdle as they reorient and as they develop. So the advanced programs are an exceptionally helpful foot up for a mid-aptitude learner who's looking into a maths-oriented or a science-oriented field. The other type of learner that these advanced programs are exceptionally beneficial for are for your exceptionally high aptitude learners. there is a blessing and a curse with a really, really sharp mind. And unfortunately, the curse is that because you are gifted with such a sharp mind, you pick things up exceptionally quickly. You don't necessarily have to develop diligence and work ethic in terms of doing your homework, studying for something, because you're gifted with such a sharp mind that you actually can do really well without doing those things. Unfortunately, the curse in that is that you don't develop diligence, work ethic, and resilience, which is incredibly important beyond high school. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are, you're going to reach a point where you are going to be significantly challenged, and intelligence on its own is not enough. And the advanced programs for those learners often represent the first opportunity that they are significantly challenged, and they now need to develop those aspects to their character, which will set them up for success. The final point is that the advanced programs are recognized by international institutions. The IEB have gone to great lengths to get the advanced programs benchmarked by an international benchmarking organization, UK NARIC, now UK ENIC, who have benchmarked their advanced programs at an equivalent level to the GCE A levels, which is the high school system in the UK. The highest exit level certificate for high schools in the UK is the A level, and the advanced programs are benchmarked to be equivalent to that level. And many international institutions that recognize the advanced programs as sufficient further study for eligibility of South African learners into those international institutions. So the advanced programs, in combination with the National Senior Certificate, really give South African learners a globally relevant exit qualification, which is increasingly important. Okay, so now to talk a little bit to who should do the AP subjects. Well, first off, learners with a strong core subject competency. So if you're doing maths at a grade 9 level now, because AP maths starts at grade 10, you should be achieving over 70% in your maths at this point to be considering advanced program mathematics. If you're doing physical science in grade 10 this year, advanced program physics starts in grade 11. It's a 2-year program, not a 3-year program. You should be achieving over 70% in physical science in grade 10 to be considering advanced program physics in grade 11. Secondly, and importantly, if you're interested in maths or physics, you should, and want to excel, you should definitely consider the advanced programs. It's really important that you pursue your interests, because that will often materialize into your career beyond school. Thirdly, if you are looking to enter a very competitive degree program, it's really important to consider the advanced programs, because you need to differentiate your application to university. It is a highly competitive landscape in terms of getting into universities, and the highly sought after degree programs such as medicine, engineering, your commerce degrees, and your Bachelor of Science degrees. And an advanced program certificate on your application is viewed very favorably and will often mean that you are admitted above another candidate that on your national senior certificate has very similar results. And then any learner looking at any tertiary degree or course that requires a level of quantitative or scientific ability. So your Bachelor of Science degrees, engineering degrees, your commerce degrees, which include accounting, actuarial science, business science, medicine. Although it doesn't involve a lot of maths, because it is a highly competitive degree, it's really important to consider the advanced programs. And then technology-related degrees, computer science, data science, those things you need to be considering taking the advanced programs. Okay, and then lastly, as mentioned, if you are looking to study overseas, well, the advanced programs are recognized by many international institutions, and you should strongly consider it. The question is it helpful for a grade 12 in 2022 to start AP Maths in 2022? It's an excellent question. It is not advisable what might be helpful to you this evening is when I talk towards our Maths Academy. The Advanced Program Maths is a 3-year program for a reason. There is a lot to cover, and it's not advisable to try and start Advanced Program Maths in Matric. You need to start in grade 10, and for Advanced Program Physics, you need to start in grade 11. Okay, so I hope that's answered that. I will attend to some aspects of that later on. When you say engineering, does software engineering account? Does software engineering count? 100%. In software engineering, advanced program mathematics will be incredibly beneficial. Advanced program physics in software engineering, in terms of the concepts that you cover, they don't necessarily correlate one-to-one. But when it comes to physics, the type of thinking that it promotes and the modeling skills that it promotes will definitely be helpful in a software engineering degree. So it's while the actual technical concepts may not translate very well, the type of thinking it promotes is incredibly helpful. Okay, good question. All right. So moving forward, I just want to give you some insight into options for AP subjects for 2022. At AdWho, we've recognized that there are different ways and streams of learning that suit different learners. And we have 3 learning streams to accommodate that. The first being our guided online courses. Okay. Our guided online courses are studio-produced video lessons with our expert educators that are then prescribed weekly to learners. You can complete the lessons at a time which suits you, pause, rewatch, rewind. You will be supported by a program coordinator to assist with any queries that you might have, and you will be part of a community of learners on a dedicated AP Maths and/or AP Physics WhatsApp group where you have access to your educator and to your program coordinator and can ask questions, whether they be content related or administrative related questions. You can also ask, learners also help one another via those groups, which is fantastic. This includes a physical write-on textbook. So even though you're learning online, it's very helpful and important that you actually practice the problems with pen and paper. And that's done via our physical write-on textbooks in our programs. The second learning stream that is an option for on the advanced programs is our live online learning stream. This is very similar to an in-person classroom, except you're joining us on our Zoom classroom, or you might be familiar with your Google Classroom or your Microsoft Teams classroom. We largely use Zoom, but essentially our live online learning stream is a weekly online live lesson taught by our AP educators. In a similar way to the guided online course, you'll be supported by a program coordinator, have access to a dedicated AP Maths and/or Physics support via WhatsApp, and it will equally include a physical write-on textbook. And then the last learning stream is the in-person learning stream. This is only available for advanced program mathematics and for learners based in Durban. Okay, so it's very similar to the live online learning stream, but learners will go to a physical classroom weekly. Our center is at Westville Boys High School, and these are weekly in-person lessons taught by our educators, but the program is very much the same as the live online program, with access to a coordinator and a WhatsApp group and a physical write-on textbook that we work through in the program. Okay. So to talk a little bit to the curriculum of advanced program maths, the syllabus covers calculus and algebra as the core modules, core domains, and then statistics or finance and modeling or graph theory and matrices as the elective domains. It's an extracurricular program which happens over 3 years from grade 10 to 12. There are 32 weeks of learning per year, and the level of effort per week and the length of lessons or prescribed work per week is between 90 to 120 minutes per week. That's the level of effort that you can expect in the program. And then there are 4 assessments. There are 4 assessments per year. Okay. In terms of advanced program physics, This is only a 2-year program, so it starts in grade 11, also an extracurricular program. There are 28 weeks of learning per year. The level of effort is 90 minutes per week, and there are also 4 assessments per year. And the syllabus covered in advanced program physics is in grade 11, you start with analytical skills, then move on to thermal physics, modern physics. You start with mechanics, which is then completed in grade 12, and then move on to charged particles in electric and magnetic fields and oscillations. Is there no chemistry in this physics course? There is no chemistry. It is specifically advanced program physics. So it is somewhat confusing in that our core subject at school is physical science, and physical science contains physics and chemistry in South Africa, but this advanced program is specific to physics. It does not involve any chemistry. So it's advanced program physics. Good question. All right. There are actually some changes happening in the advanced programs going into 2022, which are really positive and exciting. The IEB have just established and launched a new division called IEB International, and they have launched a new secondary certificate called the IEB International Secondary Certificate. Within that certificate are further studies programs, and those further studies programs are essentially the advanced programs. So the advanced programs are being renamed as further studies, and as I've mentioned previously, they are benchmarked globally by UK ENIC to be comparable to a GCE advanced level standard, and they are being quality assured by the Stellenbosch University Unit for International Credentialing. So the reason we are mentioning this is that you need to be aware that the program is undergoing a name change as a result of this recent launch of the international division at the IEB. And so if you see mention of further studies physics, that is advanced program physics. They are one and the same thing. If you see further studies mathematics, that is advanced program mathematics. They are one and the same thing. There is one technical change in advanced program mathematics, though, which is quite exciting, in that learners can actually achieve a standard certificate or an extended certificate as of 2022. So a standard certificate, in the past, all learners taking advanced program mathematics had to write 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, where paper 1 was the core domains, calculus and algebra, and paper 2 was one of the elective domains, which is either statistics, graph theory and matrices, or finance and modeling. And learners would have to pass both of those papers with an aggregate of over 40% to achieve an advanced program certificate. Moving forward, learners will be able to write paper 1, and if they pass paper 1, they can achieve a further studies mathematics standard certificate, which is an additional qualification, as mentioned. If they go ahead and write both papers, they can achieve a further studies mathematics extended certificate, which is also an additional qualification. And all of those domains are benchmarked to a GCE A level, which is really, really great. It actually makes achieving that qualification and certificate a little bit more attainable for learners. There is, however, one other change which needs to be noted. In the past, to achieve a certificate in matric on the advanced programs, learners needed to achieve over 40% in the final exam. Moving forward, learners need to achieve over 50% in the final exam. So the pass mark has gone up. In terms of the final exam in grade 12, you will need to register in your grade 12 year to write those exams. The registration cost in 2021 was 1,028 Rand per program, and that generally escalates by an inflationary amount each year. So just to give you a line of sight on costs there, we assist all our learners to ensure that they are registered for the IEB final exam and that they have an examination writing center. And I've mentioned the increase in the pass mark. You'll need to achieve 50% or higher to achieve that certificate and qualification. And that is generally delivered to the center that you write at in the second week of January the following year. Okay. In terms of the course differs slightly according to the various learning streams, guided online, live online, or in person. If you pay up front before the program begins, there is an upfront payment discount of 10%. There is then 2 other payment plans that you can take advantage of, which is either semesterly payments, so 2 payments in the year, or a 10-month debit order, which does include a 10% administration fee. Learners from our partner schools do receive a further discount. So DHS learners on the presentation this evening, for instance, our advanced programs are being adopted into the elective program at DHS, and so DHS learners will benefit from an additional discount because Durban High School is a partner school in that regard. So just check whether your school is a partner school with AWho Learn, and you can check that with us, and you may be eligible for additional discounts in that regard. Okay. If you want to embark on the advanced programs with us, in order to apply to the program, you simply visit adwholearn.com, navigate through to our advanced programs, choose the advanced program that you want to pursue, either advanced program maths or advanced program physics, but there are many learners that do both, and apply and fill in the form and submit your application. Your application will be reviewed within the week, and you'll get feedback on whether or not it was successful. Okay, and that is everything on the advanced programs. All right, so what I'm going to move on to now is our Maths, Science, and Robotics Academy and talk to those. And those are slightly different. Our Maths and Science Academy focus on core maths and core physical science. And in that way, they are different from the advanced programs, which are advanced. So will it be wise to start AP Maths in grade 11 if you have missed grade 10? So as I said earlier, it is not advisable to start the program later than you should. It's designed to be a 3-year program where you start in grade 10, and AP Maths is from grade 10 to 12. AP Physics is from grade 11 to 12. Having said that, we don't believe it. Often learners only find out about these programs a year too late, and then they want to join, but they're joining a year too late. And we do not believe in standing in the way of learners that have the commitment and diligence to catch up on that grade 10 year. So if you do want to still join, submit your application. Okay, your application will be reviewed, and we will then do our best to catch you up. However, you will have to do a fair amount of catch up. It has been done before. It's not advisable to start later than when you should start, but it is possible. And if there's a will, there's a way. And we're keen to support you in that regard. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm just cognizant of time. So thanks for those questions. I will provide a little bit more time at the end of the presentation to field any more questions that come up. I do want to talk a little bit to the Academy, though, because for some of you, the Academy might be a better option than the advanced programs. Okay, so what our Academy is all about, the AWho Learn Academy, is there are 3 domains in our Academy: our Maths Academy, our Science Academy, and our Robotics Academy. Okay, our Maths Academy and our Science Academy focus on the core subjects of maths and physical science. Okay, our Maths Academy is from grade 9 to 12, and our Science Academy is from grade 11 to 12. Okay, and these academies focus on closing gaps in these core subjects, revising and extending our learners to enable them to excel in those core subjects and take their mark to the next level. Okay. So the reasons why you should consider joining the Academy or the Academy Plus. The Academy is our Maths and Science Academy. The Academy Plus is our Robotics Academy. Is that these help to build your confidence. They help to prepare you for the future, in that they are focused into STEM subjects, which are critically important in the future world of work. You'll have an opportunity to build your understanding with our expert educators. We have some of the best educators in the country teaching on our academies. In our Maths and Science Academy, we focus on consistent revision and spaced reinforcement. Learners get access to a wealth of supplementary resources. And essentially, the goal in our Maths and Science Academy is to take your science or maths mark to the next level. So if you're sitting at a 60, to take you to a 70 or 80. If you're sitting at an 80, to take you to that 90. And then in our Robotics Academy, it's all about learning 4IR skills. Okay, so skills that aren't necessarily within the formal curriculum, but that are becoming increasingly important in the 4th Industrial Revolution. Okay, so who should consider doing the Academy? learners who want to extend themselves, learners who are interested in maths, physical science, or robotics and coding and want to excel. And then in terms of our core subject academies, learners who want to stay on top of their work to ease the load during exam time, or learners who want additional support and extension in those core subjects. All right, so in terms of our maths and our science academies, the way it works is that they are live weekly lessons I teach on the Science Academy. I teach the grade 12 class on the Science Academy. So you would have a live weekly lesson with me in physical science. And then you also get access to our self-study resources. We've got an expansive library of video resources in both maths and science called Maths Online and Science Online, which are essentially bite-sized video lessons which cover targeted domains in those core subjects and are exceptionally helpful. On the Academy, you also are supported by a program coordinator. And then significantly in our Maths and Science Academy, we do weekly progress tests, weekly formative tests, where they're quite short in nature, but essentially we are checking your understanding of the concepts that you need to learn, and in a spaced way revising the concepts that you need to know, and in that way identifying your gaps so that we can close them in the weekly live lessons. So these are exceptionally powerful in the program, and you're also on a class WhatsApp group where you have access to your educator and your program coordinator. The Maths Academy is designed by Trish Pike, one of the leading minds in maths education in South Africa, and the Science Academy is designed by Tyler Rodriguez, who and myself. Tyler takes the advanced program physics course and is a leading mind in physical science education in South Africa, and I work with him in that endeavor. All right, so what does it include? What does the Academy include? Every week, learners get worksheets and notes for the lesson that we're going to be covering. As I mentioned, there's a weekly progress test, which learners then attempt, submit to their educators, get full marked feedback, as well as access to the memo. And then we review any gaps in the following lesson to make sure that we're closing those gaps. Every weekly lesson is recorded and learners have access to it via a dedicated Academy course on our learning management system, or our campus, what we refer to as our campus. And learners have access to online support, the test feedback, as I mentioned. And then learners that are involved in our Academy for the full year also get access at no additional cost to our exam preparation online courses and study tools, which are really helpful in term 4 as learners lead up to their final exams in those subjects. Okay, so the Academy, these are the costs for the Academy program. But as you can see, if you enroll in the Academy for the full year, you get a significant amount of value because it includes our weekly live lessons and tests feedback, as well as Maths Online or Science Online access, depending on which Academy you're taking part in. And those are the related costs for those items. And then if you're on for the full year, you also get access to our exam preparation online courses, which are of significant value. So this might be something that you want to consider in terms of the best value that you can get in joining our academies. In terms of our Academy Plus, and I'm rounding up now, our Academy Plus refers to our Robotics Academy. And this is all about bridging gaps, excelling and extending in 4 IR related fields, the 4th industrial revolution. Okay, and so our Robotics Academy is for high school learners. It's not grade specific, so learners from grade 8 to 12 can join our Robotics Academy. There's no need for any prerequisite knowledge. We will go through content from a beginner level to enable you to learn the concepts that we cover in the Robotics Academy. It's a live weekly lesson. It's a 16-week program, 8 weeks in semester 1, 8 weeks in semester 2. And similarly to our Maths and Science Academies, learners get access to a library of video lessons along with recordings of weekly lessons. We undertake the Robotics Academy in partnership with Resolute Robotics, who are our subject matter experts in this field. And it's incredible what the learners have developed this year in their robotics projects during the course of the Robotics Academy. And if you go onto our site, you will be able to find a video showcase of the incredible projects that our learners have done via this academy. In terms of the robotics curriculum, it's broken up into 3 modules. The first engineering module focusing on building an autonomous line-following car and learning the programming hardware skills to actually build that robot. The second module focuses on access control using RFID tags. And the third module is a computer science and data analytics module where we teach these schools through the mechanism of game development, which is quite exciting. The pricing for the Robotics Academy is shown on the presentation, and that is comprised of the kit that you need, because you will actually be doing some physical building in the classes, as well as the weekly live lessons that you'll be attending as part of the Robotics Academy. In a similar way to our core academy, learners will receive a completion certificate, semesterly assessments and feedback, pre-recorded lessons, online support via WhatsApp. It's a 16-week program, and there is an optional holiday project that will be reviewed and feedback will be provided on it over the mid-semester break. In terms of our academy dates and times, our Maths Academy happens on a Friday from 3 to 4:30 in our grade 9, 10, 11, and 12 classes. Our Science Academy happens on a Monday from 5:30 to 7 for our grade 11 and our grade 12 class. And our Robotics Academy happens on a Wednesday from 5:30 to 7. If you're interested in our academy and this program is right for you, in a similar way to applying towards our advanced programs, you simply go to advantagelearn.com, navigate to our academy, and submit your application, and we'll get back to you within the week. Okay, and that is everything that I wanted to cover in this evening's webinar. We will have another webinar on our advanced programs and our academies on the 13th of January in the new year from 5:30 to 6:30, and you can sign up on advantagelearn.com/webinars. That will essentially be a repeat of this evening's webinar. So I'm mentioning that in case there's a friend or a colleague who you think should attend and find out about these programs, please ask them to sign up via that link. And now I'd just like to take some questions. Will the language learned be C++ in robotics? So in the engineering module, it centers around robot building via Arduino. And in the game development, the data analytics and game development module, that is via Python. You'll learn the Python programming language in that regard. So, will the Academy Plus help in development of websites and cybersecurity? Yes, it will. It's not going to specifically deal with the building of websites and the building of cybersecurity software, but the programming skills that you will learn will have application in those spaces. So, websites, for instance, on the front end, use a lot of HTML coding. That's a different type of language in terms of coding. There's a number of coding languages, but essentially all coding languages are based on logic, and any language that you learn will develop those logical skills, and then it will be easier and easier to migrate from one language to the next. And if you are going in that direction, you will need to learn multiple programming languages. Unfortunately, just like natural languages, English, Afrikaans, Zulu, Portuguese, Spanish, there are multiple languages with which to communicate. The same is true in programming. Okay, and so learners will largely use the programming language related to the Arduino robotics that they're developing, and then Python in game development. But the skills that teaches with regards to, loops in coding, conditional statements, all of those fundamentals are broadly beneficial across a number of languages. We do have some frequently asked questions, and I will address these briefly in the last 4 minutes, okay, before we close. So why choose the academy over a private tutor? It is a lot more affordable if you work it down. There is a lot more value as well, a lot of additional value that you get in the academy, which you wouldn't necessarily get with a private tutor. In that, we are testing our learners weekly via our progress tests to see how they are doing, and marking those scripts and feeding back to the learners to make sure that they are practicing and that we're identifying those gaps. You're also getting access to a wealth of resources in either Maths Online or Science Online to support your learning. And the other thing which is fantastic about the academy is you're part of a motivated community of learners that are focused on improving their results. And so that's incredibly motivating to be part of that community. While I was learning Python, I was told Python or Pygames is very hard and not effective for making games. Is this true? I think programming is challenging regardless of what language you're learning in, but games can largely be developed through Python. So I don't. It will be a challenge. It can be effective in programming games. And like I said, the language is less important than the programming fundamentals and logic that you will be developing. Programming fundamentals and logic that you will be developing. So whether or not that's true, everyone has their opinions on things. It's valuable to learn a programming language, whatever programming language that might be. Okay. Another frequently asked question is, how do you structure what is covered if learners from all different schools attend or not doing different parts of the curriculum at different times? This is a really good question. We have learners joining our academy from all over the country from various schools, and they aren't necessarily covering the exact same topic as one another in science or maths at their school. In the academy, this will inevitably happen. You'll inevitably cover a concept in the academy that is not directly aligned from a timing perspective to what you're covering at school. However, on a year lens, we will be focusing on the topics that are prescribed by CAPS in those subjects, which underpins the curriculum that you're covering at school and are the required domains that you need to know when you get to matric. The fact that you cover these things not necessarily in lockstep with your school is actually very beneficial. It either means you are covering concepts slightly ahead of time so that when you do cover them in school, you develop a deeper understanding in them, or if we're covering them in the academy after you've covered it at school, you've got an opportunity to close any gaps or of confusion that you might have had from school and revise those sections and reinforce them. So actually, this spaced reinforcement of concepts is really beneficial to our academy learners. What happens if a learner has a commitment on a day and can't make the lesson? That happens. Learners have busy schedules. All of our lessons are recorded and made available to our learners via our learning management system, the campus. And so learners will be able to catch up. Can my learner be part of AP Maths, the Science Academy, and the Maths Academy all at once? Yes, you can. Our academic schedule, weekly schedule, is designed such that learners can attend multiple programs with Advantage Learn. So it is possible. It's about choosing the programs that are right for you, or the combination of programs that are right for you. How are the applications assessed? Our applications are assessed by our Director of Teaching and Learning, Trish Pike. And basically, we look at your latest report and we look at your motivation, which you submit in the application form, and what goals you're setting for yourself in the program. And based on that information, we make a decision on whether or not this program will help you to achieve those goals, and whether or not you are well aligned to the ethos of the academy or the advanced programs, and therefore set up for success in them. And that's how those applications are assessed. Okay, and those are the frequently asked questions, and I am over time now. I know everyone's time is very precious, so I would like to thank all of you for joining me this evening. I hope you found this presentation informative and helpful. We invest a huge amount of time and effort into both our advanced programs and our academies, and we believe deeply in the benefits of these programs and helping learners at a high school level in the various domains of learning. It would be wonderful to see you on the program next year, but feel free to reach out to us either via phone or on our live chat on advantagelearn.com, or email us at info@advantagelearn.com, and we'll be happy to field any further questions that you might have. Thank you for joining us.